As we've seen in the previous videos, we understand now that each HTML element is contained in its own box, and the box has multiple properties, including borders, padding, margin, and the content itself. The box model, which is what we're going to look at in this video, is a term that's used to describe the interaction between these properties, and particularly when talking about CSS-based layouts and design, the box model is something that you do have to factor in because it can cause some problems when you're creating layouts. So let me show you exactly what I mean. So let's create a container, and this container will be 1000 pixels in width. So let's do the container here, and we will apply a width of 1000 pixels. We will do a height of 500 pixels. I'll add a border to this just so it's much easier to see. I'll do a 1 pixel solid red border, and we will center align this by using margin 0 auto. So nothing new. We can see that in the browser this gives us a center aligned 1000 pixel container. Now inside of this I want a 4-column layout. So the way we do that is inside of this container we have a column class, and I'm just going to keep it like this for now. No, in fact I will add some content. I'll just do a paragraph and I'll add some lorem in there. So I've just put it on one line so it's easier for you to see. So if we duplicate this down, so now we've got our 4 columns, and we need to target that with CSS. So we'll do col, and we'll set the width to 250 pixels because 4 times 250 is 1000. I'll just do a random height in here for now of 300 pixels, and I will do a background color, and I'll set that to yellow, and then just to get these all in line I'll float those to the left. So now if we take a look, we can see that we have our 4 columns with the yellow background, and because they're 250 pixels wide they fill up the space perfectly. There's no white spaces in here. Now let's say we wanted to add a property onto this. Now let's just start by adding a border, and we'll add the border to all 4 of the columns and to all 4 sides. So we'll do 1 pixel solid, and we'll do black. So now let's take a look at what happens to the result in the browser. So at the moment we've got 250 pixels times 4 is the 1000, so it fits in a container. But when we refresh, you'll see that the end column drops down a line, and that's because we've added a 1 pixel border here and here, times that by 4, so that's 8 extra pixels. So now the full width here is 1008 pixels, and that's just by adding a 1 pixel border. Now let's say I wanted to add a padding on that, and let's just say I wanted to set that to 40 pixels, and I also wanted a margin, so space between those columns, I wanted that just to be 10 pixels. Now when we take a look, that really messes things up. So the box model has calculated or has rendered the actual size of the element by adding the width of the element with the padding, the border, and the margin. So that's created the actual size of this. So if I wanted to get this working again so that it's actually 250 pixels again, I need to take away 40 pixels from the left and the right, so that's 80. And then we've got our margin here, which is 20 on each side, so that's 100 in total there. So I need to take 100 off of this, and then I also need to take away 2 because we've got a border on the left and right, so that leaves us with a width of 148. So 148 plus the 100 and the 2 is 250. So now we've actually fixed this layout so that they are displaying properly. But as you can understand, that is a real headache, and to have to do that to every element that you have can be a real nightmare. And even if you just change one value here, so let's say I want the pixel of the border to be 2, that then affects the layout again, and you have to go back and recalculate. So take another 2 off of here, and you get the idea. So the interaction between these properties has caused a problem with my layout, and it just takes a lot more time to build. Now there is a solution to this, and it's a really simple solution that CSS3 has introduced, so the latest standard of CSS, and we will cover that in the CSS3 box sizing video. And basically what this does is we apply a box sizing property to every element, and that will factor in any padding and borders that we have, so that we can set a manual width of 250, and then if we do add the padding and the border, then the box sizing property will factor all of that in. So it makes it really easy, and as I said, we'll cover that when we get to that video.